My beloved child, stop for a moment and listen, because I am speaking directly to your heart right now. And you did not find this message by chance. You are here because I have orchestrated this encounter to interrupt the exhaustion of your soul. I have seen you searching for answers in the late hours of the night, wondering if the cycle of struggle, lack, and disappointment would ever come to an end. I have watched you carry the weight of 1,000 almosts and not quites, feeling as though you were walking in circles in a wilderness that has no exit. Today, I am putting a divine halt to that motion. I am cutting across the timeline of your life to bring you an official announcement from the kingdom. It's official. The cycle breaks today. And hear me closely. Your silence did not confuse me. Your tears did not overwhelm me. And your weariness did not make me turn away. You left even heaven speechless, because you kept standing when every reason to quit was pressing on your chest. I have watched you endure in ways no one clapped for. I have seen you keep believing while your heart felt bruised and your mind felt tired. This is not just another video or a mere suggestion of hope. This is a sovereign decree. I am the Alpha and the Omega, and I am stepping into your now to declare that the season of endless loops is reaching its final hour. Your weariness has reached my ears, and my heart is moved with a compassion that you cannot yet fully comprehend. I saw you when you felt invisible, and I heard the sighs that were too deep for words. I know the pain of waking up to the same problems, the same anxieties, and the same barriers that seem to rebuild themselves every time you try to knock them down. You have been faithful in the fire, even when you felt like you were burning up. But listen to me now. My chosen one, the fire was not meant to consume you, but to make you fireproof for what I am about to release. Before I reveal the immense blessing that is currently being prepared for your hands, I want you to acknowledge my presence in this moment. Do not let this invitation pass you by, for your recognition is the key that turns the lock of your breakthrough. Declare your presence before me right now. Type, "I am here, Lord," or 7007 in the comments below to open the gates of heaven over your life. This is your first act of faith in this new season, a signal to the spiritual realm that you are standing at attention, ready to receive the instructions that will change your destiny forever. As you prepare your heart for the revelation I am about to pour into you, I invite you to join this family of believers who are witnessing my hand at work in this generation. Sign your name into this heavenly covenant today by pressing the like button and subscribing to this channel. This is not a mere digital gesture. It is a signal of your agreement with heaven's plan for your life. By doing so, you are declaring that you no longer belong to the old cycles of defeat, but you are now aligned with the direction of my favor. I am calling you to be part of a community that stands on my word. For where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. Feel the peace that surpasses all understanding beginning to settle in your chest. The noise of the world is fading, and my voice is becoming the only one that matters. You are not behind, and you are not lost. You are exactly where you need to be to witness the breaking of the chains that have held your family back for generations. Believe me when I say that today, everything changes. My precious one, I have felt every throb of weariness that resides deep within your bones. I have watched you wake up morning after morning, forcing yourself to find the strength to face a world that seems to demand force more than you have to give. I see the heavy sigh you release before you step out of your car, the way you adjust your posture and put on a mask of "I'm fine" for your colleagues, your friends, and even your family. You have become an expert at carrying the weight of the world while pretending it is as light as a feather, but I see the truth. I see the trembling in your spirit when the lights go out and the noise finally fades. I know the physical toll this season has taken on you. The tension in your shoulders that never seems to leave. The headaches born of constant worry. And that deep, hollow exhaustion that sleep can no longer fix. You are not just tired because of what you are doing. You are tired because of what you are carrying. You have been carrying the burden of figuring it out all by yourself. And I am here to tell you that you were never designed to be the source of your own strength. And yet you kept showing up. You kept trying again. You kept holding it together when you had every reason to fall apart. And you left even heaven speechless, because your endurance has been louder than your words. I have been there in the quiet moments when you sat on the edge of your bed, head in your hands, wondering how many more times you would have to try again. I saw you when you looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the person looking back, the one whose eyes have lost a bit of their sparkle, replaced by the dull ache of repeated disappointment. I have counted every silent tear that is soaked into your pillow, the ones you didn't even have the words to explain. You feel as though you are running a race on a treadmill, moving at a frantic pace, exerting all your energy, yet staying in the exact same place of lack and loneliness. This emotional heaviness is like a thick fog that has settled over your vision, making it hard to see the beauty I have placed around you. You are exhausted from being the strong one, from being the anchor for everyone else, while you feel yourself drifting further and further out to sea. I know the secret prayers you whispered when you thought no one was listening, asking me if this is all there is to your life. But hear me. I am not watching this from a distance. I am stepping into it with authority, because it's official. The cycle breaks today. My child, your pain is not invisible to me. I have seen you give and give until your reservoir was completely dry, only to find that when you needed a hand to hold, the world seemed strangely empty. I was there during those long drives where you turned off the music and just cried in the silence because the pressure was too much to bear. I have seen the way you've had to navigate the same old problems, the bills that never seem to decrease, the relationships that keep hitting the same walls, and the health struggles that linger like an uninvited guest. This weight you feel is the manifestation of a soul that has been in survival mode for far too long. You have been fighting battles that were meant for me to win, and your spirit is calling out for rest. But hear me clearly. The very fact that you are still standing, despite the crushing weight of this season, is a testament to the supernatural resilience I have placed within you. You are stronger than you think. But you were never meant to be strong alone. Right now, I am touching those hidden places of your heart, where the bitterness and the burnout have tried to take root. I am breathing my life into your weary lungs and releasing the tension from your soul. This physical and emotional heaviness is the hidden season that is coming to an end. I did not allow you to feel this weight to break you, but to show you that your human strength has a limit. And that is exactly where my divine power begins. You have reached the end of yourself, and that is the most beautiful place to be, for it is the threshold of your miracle. I am taking the heavy yoke of your expectations and your failures off your neck and replacing it with my grace. This is the moment where you stop performing and start receiving. The weight is lifting, my beloved. Can you feel it? The atmosphere is shifting around you because I am validating every struggle you've endured. You are being rebuilt from the inside out, and the person emerging from this exhaustion will be more powerful than the one who entered it. Because the loop ends here, and you will not carry this cycle forward again. My child, I have heard the echo of your heart crying out, "How long, O Lord? Will you forget me forever?" I have watched you kneel by your bed until your knees were sore, pouring out your soul in words that seemed to hit a ceiling of brass and fall back to the floor unheard. I know the agonizing sting of silence. The kind of silence that feels like abandonment, especially when you see the world moving on around you. You have watched others receive their breakthroughs with ease, seen them celebrate the very things you have been fasting and praying for. And in the quiet of your room, you've asked me why you were left behind. You've wondered if there is something wrong with your faith, or if you have somehow disqualified yourself from my favor. I want you to know that I have been present in every second of that silence. My silence was never a sign of my absence. It was the sacred space where I was testing your endurance and refining your character for a weight of glory you cannot yet see. I saw you scrolling through the highlight reels of others' lives, feeling that sharp pang of, when will it be my turn? As you faced another month of the same financial lack or the same recurring illness. I saw the disappointment in your eyes when the phone didn't ring with the news you expected, and when the door you thought I opened slammed shut in your face. You felt like a forgotten soldier on a battlefield, left to fend for yourself while the rest of the army marched toward victory. But I was not ignoring you, my precious one. I was shielding you. I have used the silence to disconnect you from the voices of the world so that you could eventually hear my whisper with absolute clarity. I am not a God who forgets his children. I am the God who remembers his promises, even when the manifestation is delayed. The silence was not a prison. It was a workshop where I was building a testimony in you that will one day shake the foundations of those who doubted my power in your life. Every prayer you have ever whispered has been captured in a bottle in heaven. Not one word has been lost, and not one tear has been wasted. The reason it has felt like I was not answering is that I was busy aligning what you could not see for a suddenly that will make up for every year the locusts have eaten. You are being prepared to handle the weight of a blessing so massive that if I had given it to you when you first asked, it would have crushed you. I needed your roots to go deep into the soil of my grace during this drought, so that when the rains finally come, you will not be uprooted by the wind of prosperity. My timing is perfect, even when it is painful. I am getting you ready for a level of influence and peace that requires a maturity you could only gain through this season of waiting. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. So let this truth settle into you. My silence is not my denial. It is not rejection, and it is not the end of your story. The enemy has tried to use the waiting room to plant lies in your mind. But I am breaking his voice over you. I am moving the mountains you thought were permanent, and I am parting the seas you thought were impassable. Your story does not end in silence. It ends in a shout of victory that will inspire generations to come. Trust me. Because I am about to speak, and when I speak, the whole earth must listen. I have seen the internal war you wage within yourself during the long, quiet hours of the night. I have heard the whispers of the accuser telling you that the reason you are stuck is because of your past mistakes, your lack of faith, or some hidden flaw that makes you unworthy of my goodness. You have replayed your failures like a broken record, wondering if you are being punished for that one decision years ago, or that moment of weakness you've already asked me to forgive. My child, look at me. I am the potter, and you are the clay. I do not look at your cracks with disappointment. I look at them as the very places where my light will shine through most brilliantly. The shame you carry is a heavy cloak that I never asked you to wear. It is a weight that slows your feet and dims your eyes to the horizon of hope I have set before you. I want you to understand that my grace is not a reward for your perfection, but a gift for your surrender. You are not a project to be fixed. You are a beloved child to be restored. Stop being so hard on yourself for the seasons you spent just trying to survive. You have blamed yourself for the doors that closed, thinking you said the wrong thing or moved at the wrong time. but I am the one who holds the keys. If I closed a door, it was because there was a fire behind it that you couldn't see, or a blessing behind another door that you weren't yet ready to carry. Your waiting is not a waste, and your struggle is not a sign of my displeasure. I am using this time to build a foundation in you that can support the massive structure of the destiny I am preparing. Rock bottom is not the end of your story. It is the solid ground upon which I am building your new life. Release the need to be perfect and embrace the reality of being chosen. You were selected for this journey, not because you were the strongest, but because my strength is made perfect in your weakness. Now, take a moment and do something with me. Place your hand over your heart. Close your eyes and take a deep, slow breath. Can you feel that beat? That is my rhythm within you. It is a sign that I am not finished with you yet. As you feel the warmth of your own hand, imagine my hands covering yours, healing the invisible scars of shame and the deep bruises of self-reproach. I am washing away the should-haves and the could-haves. I am clearing out the guilt that has taken up space in your soul. Space that I need for the confidence and creativity I'm about to pour in. You have been a prisoner of your own judgment for far too long. But today, the cell door is standing wide open. Step out into the light of my unconditional love, where there is no condemnation for those who are in me. Let this be anchored in you. You are loved, you are forgiven, and you are being beautifully refined for what comes next. The shame is not your identity. The past is not your prison. And the cycle that kept accusing you is losing its power, because I am rewriting your story from the inside out. You have asked me many times why I've allowed you to walk this circular path, why the same obstacles keep appearing just as you feel you are making progress. You have viewed this loop as a prison or a curse, but I want to shift your perspective today. My beloved, the loop was not designed to destroy you. It was designed to develop you. There is a specific kind of authority that can only be forged in the fire of repetition. Just as a soldier trains until their movements become second nature, I have allowed these cycles to persist so that you would learn the landscape of your enemy's tactics. If I had delivered you the very first time you asked, you would have been a visitor in your victory. But I am training you to be a ruler over it. You needed to develop a divine discernment that can only come from seeing the same shadows twice and realizing that they have no power over the light within you. The person you were when this journey began could not have sustained the weight of the blessing that is now coming your way. I am not interested in giving you a temporary fix. I am building in you a permanent character. Every time you faced that recurring financial struggle, every time you navigated that familiar heartbreak, you were being stripped of your reliance on human strength. I was teaching you how to find my peace in the midst of the storm, rather than waiting for the storm to pass to be at peace. You are not just repeating a season, you are mastering a level. Think of a pilot in a flight simulator. They must experience the same emergency scenarios over and over until their reaction is calm, precise, and authoritative. You are currently in the final simulation. The repetition is perfecting your grip on the mantle of authority I am placing on your shoulders. My child, you must understand that the new you is being birthed in the friction of the old cycle. If I brought you into your promised land with your old mindsets, your old fears, and your old insecurities, you would have lost the land within a week. I love you too much to let you fail at the finish line. Therefore, I used the loop to expose the cracks in your foundation so that I could fill them with my solid rock. You are being built into a vessel that can hold the wine of my new revelation without bursting. Do not despise the days of small beginnings or the years of seemingly redundant lessons. You are gaining the wisdom of a veteran and the heart of a conqueror. You are learning that my word is the only constant in a world of shifting cycles. I am calling you to step into a new level of spiritual awareness. If you can see that I have been using these repetitive trials to build your spiritual muscles, then you are ready for what follows. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are a student of destiny. When you realize that the loop was your training ground, the loop loses its power to frustrate you. It becomes a bridge instead of a wall. This is the moment where your frustration turns into fascination with how I work. You are standing on the edge of a breakthrough that will be permanent because you have finally learned the lessons that the cycle was sent to teach. The training is almost over, and the real assignment is about to begin. Have you ever wondered why, even when you hate the situation you are in, there is a small part of you that clings to it? It is because the human heart often prefers a familiar hell to an unfamiliar heaven. You have become so accustomed to the struggle that you have learned how to manage it, how to budget for it, and how to survive within its boundaries. But I did not create you for survival. I created you for dominion. Familiarity is a cage with an open door, but you have stayed inside because you are afraid that the vastness of my blessing will require a version of you that you don't yet know how to be. You have mistaken the bars of your routine for the walls of a sanctuary, but I am here to tell you that it is time to fly. The loop continues because it feels safe, and the safety of the known is a powerful drug that numbs the pain of your potential being wasted. I have seen you look at the door of opportunity and then quickly look away, fearing that if you step out, you might fail. But I ask you, isn't staying here a failure of its own? You are comfortable in your sorrow because you know exactly how it feels. But my joy is a territory you have yet to fully inhabit. I am calling you to leave the land of at least I'm getting by and move into the land of more than enough. The cage of familiarity is built with the bricks of your habits and the mortar of your excuses. You tell yourself that you are waiting for a sign, but I have already given you the sign by making your current situation so uncomfortable that your soul can no longer rest. This divine agitation is my way of nudging you toward the exit. Stepping out into the unknown requires you to trust my character more than your own comfort. The loop remains as long as you find a reason to justify its existence. You say, at least I know what to expect tomorrow. But I want you to expect the unexpected. I'm calling you into deep waters where your feet cannot touch the bottom, because that is the only place where you will truly see me move. The comfort of the cage is the enemy of the calling I have placed on your life. Today, I am making your current situation just uncomfortable enough to force you to look toward the door. Do not be afraid of the change. The unfamiliarity you fear is actually the fragrance of your freedom. Trust me as I lead you into a life that is so far beyond your current comprehension that you will one day look back at this cage and wonder how you ever stayed in it for so long. My beloved, I want to speak to you now about the hidden power of the seed. You have often looked at what you have in your hand and felt it was not enough to change your situation, but you must understand that every great harvest begins with a single act of surrender. I do not ask for your gifts because I am in debt or in need. I am the creator of the universe, the owner of the cattle on 1,000 hills, and the source of every breath you take. I speak to you about obedience because I want to break the spirit of lack that has been hovering over your household like a dark cloud. When you hold on too tightly to what you have out of fear, you are signaling to the heavens that you are your own provider and that your resources are limited. But when you release a seed in the midst of your struggle, you are declaring that I am the sovereign source of your supply. This is not about a transaction. It is about a transformation of your heart. It is the moment you stop operating in the economy of the world and start operating in the economy of my kingdom. There is a divine frequency that is activated when you give, from a place of faith rather than a place of surplus. Do not view this as a mere exchange. View it as a holy invitation to participate in the breaking of chains. Not just for yourself, but for the souls who are starving for this message of hope. Your seed is a weapon of spiritual warfare. It is the sound of a chain snapping in the spiritual realm. When you make a sacrifice to help others and to spread my word to the ends of the earth, I make it my personal business to ensure your dream comes to pass. This is a sacred moment of alignment where your tangible actions meet my intangible power. Every seed you plant is a vote of confidence in my timing and a refusal to be governed by the anxiety of the world. Every time you sow a seed in faith, you are digging up the roots of poverty and fear that have tried to choke your growth for generations. You are telling the enemy, I trust my Father more than I trust my bank account. This act of obedience is a fragrance that rises to my throne, a sweet aroma of trust that invites my hand to move in ways that human logic cannot explain. I am looking for those who will be conduits, not reservoirs. When you allow my blessings to flow through you to reach others, you ensure that my favor will always flow to you. I am getting you prepared to handle the weight of a massive blessing, and that requires a heart that is generous and a character that is proven. By choosing to give with faithfulness in the little, you are being shaped for the much that is waiting just beyond this horizon. I see the sacrifice you are making, and I know the balance in your account. I saw the widow and her 2 mites, and I see the heart behind your giving. Your obedience carries more weight in heaven than the largest fortunes of the proud. For I look at the heart, not the amount. Relax and trust me, for I am the one who gives seed to the sower and bread for food. As you plant this seed of obedience, know that you are not losing anything. You are merely moving your resources from a place of limitation to a place of supernatural multiplication. The loop of lack is breaking right now because you have chosen to act in faith rather than react in fear. You are no longer agreeing with the deficiency. You are agreeing with the abundance that I am. This seed is a physical marker of a spiritual shift that will be felt for years to come. I am the God of the breakthrough, and I have come to deliver an official notice to your spirit. This is not a suggestion, nor is it a message of maybe. Today, I am serving a spiritual eviction notice to every spirit of delay, every pattern of stagnation, and every recurring nightmare that has tried to make its home in your life. In the courts of heaven, your case has been heard, and the verdict is in. The cycle is officially broken. I am not a God of almost or just about. When I speak, the foundations of the earth tremble, and when I move, no wall of the enemy can remain standing. You have been in a season of not yet for a long time, but I am declaring that your not yet has just collided with my now. The atmosphere around you is thick with the weight of my glory, and the spiritual legalities that held you captive are being dissolved by the blood of the Lamb. This is your official notice that the old timeline has been terminated, and a new, sovereignly ordained path is opening beneath your feet. I want you to pay close attention, my chosen one, for the signs of this change will begin to manifest in ways that your soul will immediately recognize. In the next 24 to 72 hours, I will begin to drop a supernatural clarity into your mind. The fog that has obscured your vision for months is going to lift, and you will suddenly see the solution to the problem that once seemed impossible. Watch for the small, unexpected signs. A sense of peace that you cannot explain. A phone call from someone you haven't heard from in years, or a sudden door opening where there was only a brick wall yesterday. These are not coincidences. They are the breadcrumbs of my providence leading you out of the wilderness. I am sharpening your discernment so that you can see the traps before they are set. and the opportunities before they are announced. This is the beginning of a divine momentum that will not be stopped. When I set a thing in motion, no man, no government, and no demonic force can reverse it. The cycle of barely making it and almost reaching the goal is over. You have spent years coming to the edge of your promise only to be pushed back by a wave of circumstance. But this time, I am the wave. I am the force that is pushing you over the finish line. I am signing the decree of your liberation with the ink of my faithfulness. You will no longer be known by your struggle. You will be known by the way I delivered you from it. The world will look at you and wonder how you survived the storm, and your only answer will be that I was in the boat with you. I am replacing your anxiety with a deep-seated confidence that is rooted in my sovereignty. You don't have to shout to be heard. My favor on your life will do the talking for you. This change is not coming. It is already here. It is flowing into your health, your finances, your relationships, and your very identity. As this notice of change settles into your spirit, let it become more than information. Let it become direction. Let your faith move from agreement to action, from awareness to obedience. The old records are being wiped clean, and the new book of your life is being written starting today. The period of waiting is officially adjourned. The season of walking in the light has begun. My precious child, understand that I am not a God who leaves a vacuum in your life. When I break a cycle, I do not leave a hollow space where your pain once resided. I am the God of the great exchange. I am currently moving through the rooms of your soul, clearing out the wreckage of the past to make room for the architecture of the future. Where there was once the noise of chaos, I am installing the melody of consistency. Where there was the recurring shadow of lack, I am pouring in the light of my supernatural provision. I do not just take away your burdens, I replace them with my blessings. It is a divine substitution that is taking place in the spiritual realm at this very second. Every tear you shed in the season of loss has been converted into a seed for a harvest of joy that will soon overwhelm your senses. I am replacing the spirit of heaviness with a garment of praise that fits you perfectly. You will find that the things that once caused you to tremble will no longer have a place in your mind. For I am filling every gap with my presence, my power, and my unshakable peace. I am bringing beauty for the ashes of your failed dreams. Think of the years you felt were wasted, the time you spent in mourning for the doors that stayed shut and the promises that seemed to wither. I am redeeming that time by bringing opportunities that are so potent and so aligned with your purpose that they will make up for a decade of delay in a single glorious moment. I am replacing your barely enough with more than enough. But this overflow is not just for your bank account, it is for your entire being. I am replacing the frantic search for human validation with a deep, unshakable knowledge of your worth in my eyes. I am replacing the fractured relationships that drained your energy with divine connections that will sharpen your iron and soothe your heart. You are receiving the oil of joy instead of mourning, and it is a permanent anointing. The ashes of your past are now the fertile soil in which I am planting the trees of righteousness. You are becoming a display of my splendor, a living proof to all who know you that I can turn a desert into a lush oasis. The blessings I am placing in your hands now are heavy. They carry the weight of my glory and the substance of my character. This is why the preparation was so long and the training so intense. I am replacing the superficial, temporary success that would have evaporated in the heat of trial with a substantial, generational prosperity that will stand the test of time. You are moving from a season of struggle and strive to a season of rest and receive. I am replacing your sleepless nights with sweet sleep, knowing that I am the one guarding your gates and fighting your battles. You will no longer wake up with a pit of dread in your stomach, wondering what will go wrong today. Instead, you will wake up with a holy expectation for the goodness I have planned for you. I am replacing your confusion with a divine strategy that will make you 10 times wiser than your peers. Every area where the enemy tried to rob you, your peace, your health, your time, I am restoring it sevenfold. This is your era of divine consistency, where the atmosphere of heaven becomes your daily reality. My beloved, I want you to look around your life with new eyes. Notice the things that are falling away and do not grieve them. They are being removed to make space for the better that I have promised. I am replacing your old, worn-out mindsets with the mind of Christ. I am replacing the fear of the future with the joy of the journey. You are no longer defined by what you lost, but by what I am giving you now. This is a total renovation of your destiny. I am giving you a new name, a new song, and a new authority. You have passed the test of the desert, and now you are entering the land of your inheritance. Receive these replacement blessings with open arms and a heart of gratitude. I am not just fixing your life. I am making all things new. The exchange is complete, and the glory of this latter house shall be greater than the former. The person you see when you look in the mirror today is not the same person who began this journey. You have been through the furnace of affliction, and though the heat was intense, it did not consume you. It refined you. I have burned away the dross of your insecurities, the hay and stubble of your people-pleasing nature, and the wood of your self-doubt. What remains is pure gold. You are emerging from this hidden season with a steel in your spine and a fire in your eyes that only comes from surviving what was meant to destroy you. You are no longer the naive child who was easily swayed by every wind of circumstance. You are now a seasoned warrior who knows the sound of my voice and the rhythm of my footsteps. The new you is battle-tested, discerning, and deeply rooted in my grace. You are stepping into your promise not as a beggar, but as a rightful heir who has been trained for the throne. I saw you when you were small in your own eyes, when you felt like a victim of your lineage and a prisoner of your mistakes. I saw the moments when you felt so broken that you didn't think the pieces could ever be put back together. But look at you now. Every crack has been filled with the gold of my glory, making you more beautiful and more valuable than you were before the breaking. Your scars are no longer marks of shame. They are your credentials of authority. They tell a story of a God who redeems and a soul that refuses to quit. You carry an atmosphere of peace because you have mastered the storm. You carry an authority in your speech because you have learned the power of silence. This new version of you does not react to the world with fear. You respond to the world with faith. You are walking with a new posture, a new confidence, and a new understanding that if I am for you, nothing can ever be against you. Before I reveal the final vision of your future, I want you to recognize what is happening within you. Feel this new strength rising. Sense the old skin falling away and the new version of your spirit taking flight. This is not imagination. This is transformation. Heaven has been working in the secret place, and now the evidence is beginning to show. You are no longer returning to what once trapped you, because you no longer think like the person who lived there. You are becoming a light to others who are still caught in the loops you have escaped. Not because you are perfect, but because you are proof that my hand can rewrite a life. The maturity you have gained in the secret place is the secret to your upcoming success. You will no longer repeat the mistakes of your past because you no longer have the heart of your past. Your desires have been realigned with my purpose, and your eyes have been opened to the spiritual reality that governs the physical world. You are entering your new season with the wisdom of a veteran and the passion of a pioneer. You will find that you no longer fit into the old conversations the old habits, or the old relationships that sought to keep you small. Do not be afraid of the distance between who you were and who you are now. That distance is the measure of my miracle in your life. You are my chosen instrument, sharpened and ready for the great work ahead. The world hasn't seen anything yet, for the new version of you is carrying the fullness of my power into every room you enter. Close your eyes for a moment and let me show you the landscape of the life I am building for you. Can you see it? It is a morning where your first thought is not one of dread, but of deep, resonant gratitude. The heavy, gray fog of the same old struggle has been replaced by a horizon of vibrant possibilities. I see you standing on the high ground, looking back at the valley you have just traversed. The loops that once felt like a labyrinth are now just distant lines in the sand, far below your new elevation. In this future, you are no longer reacting to the storms of life with panic. You are walking through them with the quiet authority of one who knows the master of the sea. You are stepping into a season where your efforts are finally bearing fruit that remains. You are planting seeds in fertile ground, and the harvest is not just for your survival, but for the abundance of many. I see you living in a house of peace, where the walls are no longer vibrating with the echoes of old arguments or the silent screams of financial anxiety. Your home has become a sanctuary, a place where my presence is the very air you breathe, and where every room is filled with the laughter of a soul that has finally found its rhythm. In this vision of your future, your confidence does not come from your bank account, your titles, or the approval of men. It comes from a profound, unshakable knowing that I am leading every step of your journey. You will walk into rooms you once felt unqualified to enter, and you will speak with a clarity that silences the doubters. The imposter syndrome that once plagued your mind has been replaced by a holy boldness. People will look at you and wonder what changed, and you will simply smile, knowing that the secret is the divine partnership we have forged in the fire. I am giving you a vision that extends far beyond your own needs. You are becoming a pillar in your community, a source of wisdom for the weary, and a living demonstration of what happens when a human life is fully aligned with my will. Your future is not a repeat of your past. It is a revelation of my glory. I am orchestrating meetings with people of influence who will recognize the mantle I have placed upon you. And together, you will build things that will outlast your time on this earth. I want you to hold on to this truth. I know the thoughts I think toward you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. This is not just a poetic sentiment. It is my blueprint for your existence. The delay was never a denial. It was the time required to prepare the world for the impact you are about to make. You are moving into a season of divine consistency, where the breakthroughs do not just happen once, but become the standard of your life. I am opening your eyes to see the wealth of the hidden places and the treasures of darkness, the opportunities that others overlook because they are too busy looking for the obvious. Your intuition is being sharpened to catch the whispers of my spirit, guiding you to the right place at the right time. The bad luck that seemed to follow you for years has been permanently replaced by my favor, which acts as a shield and a magnet, repelling the devourer and attracting the blessing. Your story is becoming a roadmap for those who are still lost in their own cycles, and your victory will be the light that leads them home. My beloved, this future is not something you have to strive for. It is something you are growing into. The more you lean into my presence, the faster this vision will materialize in your physical world. You are already standing at the threshold. Can you smell the fresh rain? Can you feel the shift in the wind? The era of the loop is finished, and the era of the legacy has begun. You are no longer a prisoner of what happened. You are the architect of what is next. Every disappointment you endured was just a stone I used to build the staircase to this new level. Walk forward now with your head held high, for you are the chosen one of the Most High, and your future is as bright as the promises of God. The best part of your life is not behind you. It is currently unfolding, one faithful step at a time. I am the God of the new thing, and I am doing it right now. The boundary has been drawn, and the line has been marked in the spiritual sand. Today, in the highest courts of heaven, I am issuing a permanent injunction against the cycle that has plagued your life and your lineage for generations. This is the moment of the great separation. You are stepping over a threshold where the shadows of your past cannot follow you into the brilliance of the future I have prepared. I am speaking directly to every spiritual gatekeeper and every territorial spirit that has tried to hold you back. Let my people go. The contract of poverty is torn. The agreement with loneliness is dissolved. The bond of sickness is shattered. I have signed your liberation with the ink of my own faithfulness and sealed it with the blood of the covenant. You are no longer a servant to the familiar pain. You are now a master of the new blessing. The loop is not just paused, it is obliterated. The ground you stand on this very moment is holy, for you have survived the furnace and reached the gate of your inheritance. Do not look back at the rubble of what used to be, for I am making all things new, and I am making them new right now. My beloved child, as I seal this decree within the very fibers of your soul, I want you to feel the finality of this moment. The heavy weariness you carried when you first began to listen to my voice is being replaced by a divine, supernatural fire. This is the moment where your faith is upgraded into sight. You are being equipped to handle the weight of the massive blessing that is falling upon your life as we speak. It is a blessing that requires the maturity you gained in the fire, the character you built in the silence, and the wisdom you acquired through the tears. I did not bring you through the storm to leave you on the shore. I brought you through to launch you into the deep. Every difficulty you solved, every betrayal you endured, and every sleepless night you suffered was your entrance exam for this level of authority. You have passed with honors. You are stronger than you think, and I am closer than you have ever imagined. The pressure you felt was not intended to break you, but to crush the oil of your anointing out of you. Turn that pressure into power. Turn that pain into a testimony. You are moving from the back of the line to the forefront of my plan. Now, as we bring this divine dialogue to its fulfillment, it is time for you to take your final stand. This prophecy must be sealed so that the enemy cannot steal the seeds of truth that have been planted in your heart today. Do not stay silent, for your voice is the final key that locks this heavenly transaction into your physical reality. I invite you to join this family of overcomers one last time. If you have not already done so, press the like button and subscribe to this channel as a lifelong commitment to walking in the light and staying aligned with my word. This is not merely a digital action. It is a signal to the heavens that you are part of a holy remnant that is moving in sync with my spirit. Be a vessel of my grace, not just a reservoir that holds it. Share this message with at least 3 people right now who are still trapped in their own cycles. By helping them find their way out, you are activating the law of the harvest in your own life. As you lead others to the light, I will ensure that darkness never finds a way back into your dwelling. This is the final seal. I am the Lord your God, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end of your story. I have spoken, and it is finished. It is done. The cycle is broken, the path is clear, and the future is yours to inhabit. Every chain is gone, and every door that was once locked is now standing wide open for you. Go forth in my name, with my peace as your compass and my joy as your unshakable strength. You are covered by the blood, protected by my warring angels, and favored by the hand that created the stars. This is your moment. This is your day. This is your official notice of total victory. Type Amen or I accept in the comments right now to lock this blessing into your life forever and to declare to the world that you are a child of the living God. Let the heavens rejoice, for the cycle has broken and your era of blessing has begun. Amen and amen.